Welcome to the Money Healing Club podcast, everyone. I'm your host, Rachel Duncan. I'm a certified financial therapist and art therapist, and this podcast is the softest place to land in personal finance. And I can't believe it, y'all. This is our 1-year anniversary of the podcast. We've covered so much here, from financial activism to my weird ways of handling subscriptions, and there's so much more to talk about around money. But I love taking it just one little meaningful step at a time, because money can be a lot. It's been such a big year for me, lots of ups and downs, as many of us had. I joined the Feminist Podcasters Collective, which has really given me community and inspiration for this podcast. So I want to thank them. And I want to thank you. Thank you, listeners, for letting me know that this show has been impactful for you. Thank you for connecting me with guests and leaving me your voicemails with your questions and stories about money, and for sharing my podcast with your friends and your therapists. By the way, I need more voicemails, so please keep them coming. You can head over to moneyhealingclub.com/podcast, and there's a big orange button. You just leave a voicemail there from your phone or browser, and don't worry, I'll make you sound good. So to celebrate this anniversary, I'm rebroadcasting the very first episode, which is one of the top listened to. And can you guess, drumroll please, what it's about? Yes, the number one issue folks come to me with: impulse spending. Unpacking impulse spending has kind of become my expertise. I love it. I think how we spend is one of the most interesting things about us. When we really look at why we spend and what we spend it on, it's such a signal about what we need, what we love, what we desire. It's actually a journey to the self, not something to be ashamed of. It's something we can change. It can be hard, it can be easy. It's so empowering, and I love walking my clients and club members through that process. Impulse spending is a pretty evergreen topic, but hey, we're here at the end of 2025, and we really need to link arms if we want to spend less, because oof, those ads, that marketing is targeted. So if you're feeling a little lost, a little overwhelmed, please know that you're not alone. And I hope that some of my thoughts in this episode help you. And just a reminder, this podcast is for education and entertainment purposes only. For help with your particular situation, please seek help from a licensed professional in mental health, taxes, and finance. So let's talk about all the things we don't usually say when we talk about impulse spending.
So I have a question around a money-related habit that I would love to change, and that is impulsive spending. Just, it feels like I have no control over it. And I notice, particularly when there's uncomfortable feelings come up or I'm dealing with emotional pain, it's a form of self-soothing, but it's just causing so much stress. So I'd love to know some strategies to deal with that in a healthier way. Thank you so much.
The topic of impulse spending is the number one issue people come to me with. So it sounds like we can break this into 3 things. Number 1, you feel out of control when you do an impulse spend, and you don't like that feeling. Maybe you're the kind of person who, maybe you think of yourself as someone who has a lot of self-control, but when we do things that are not the story we tell ourselves about ourselves, that causes this internal stress where you feel really out of alignment. Number 2, you already hear it. You already know. Impulse shopping is not an actual solution for emotional pain, but it does feel good in the moment. And in the moment, we don't think about the future stress that the impulse shopping will cause. And then there's number 3, a real practical effect of spending more than your bank account can handle, possibly getting into debt from impulse spending. So all of that, maybe more, is wrapped into your question. So here's the thing. We don't buy things, we buy feelings. I define an impulse spend as something you bought that you hadn't planned for, and it had a real impulsive drive in the moment, and you regretted afterwards. Because sometimes we buy things impulsively that were needed in the moment or felt fine, no problem. But there's something about when we talk about impulse spending, it's usually a purchase that you look back on and you wish you hadn't done that. You weren't sure why you did it, what your state of mind was, probably because you're dealing with the after effects of that purchase. So think about a specific example. What was the feeling you were buying? What was the want beneath the want? For example, a lot of folks in the club talk about cosmetics, jewelry, and clothing. So what's the want beneath the want? There can be so many things. Maybe you have great taste. You love being around beautiful things. Maybe there's a fantasy version of yourself that wears floral dresses every day. Maybe you're on a quest for the perfect pair of jeans. I get it. And sometimes there's a bigger thing when we are dealing with something emotional. We have some pain. Our daily life sometimes can lead us to feel helpless. And the thing with buying something is it's pretty reliable. It's a reliable dopamine hit, and sometimes you just need a win that day. So that could also be the want beneath the want. I need something to deliver to me in a way that this day is not delivering. So I just want to normalize. Often buying things impulsively when you're caught up in the moment, it does feel good. And that is dopamine. You've probably heard it before. Dopamine is all about the satisfaction of the hunt. Dopamine is also the thing that keeps us driven to achieve something. And the thing is, once you achieve it, that neurochemical goes away. So that's a letdown. That's the aspect of impulse shopping that doesn't last, even though it feels like it makes so much sense in the moment that this one thing is going to solve all your problems. That's dopamine doing its work. This is also why just stopping impulse spending doesn't work. Because when and where are you going to get some satisfaction in your day? If there's any behavior any of us want to stop doing, you need to replace it with something that will work for you. Every no needs a yes. There are other ways to get dopamine in your day, and other ways that give you dopamine along with other lasting neurochemicals like oxytocin and serotonin. So I want you to brainstorm other ways that you feel good. So I want you to think about all of the things that bring you pleasure, that bring you little hits of satisfaction. Often they are things that get you into a flow state, like creative hobbies, play, therapeutic connections, time in nature, exercise. So make a brain dump of all these little things that bring you pleasure. I gotta say, often these things are under the category of self-care that we all know we need to do. But I hope reframing self-care in a way that is protective against impulse spending will help you. When we're active in our self-care, then we're not needing that impulse spend to give us that sense of completion because we feel more complete in ourselves. So make a brain dump of all the things that bring you pleasure, including little moments like listening to music, sipping your tea and looking out the window, like little micro things that we're not talking weekend warrior stuff, something you can bring into your daily life, like lighting a candle, petting your cat, things that just bring you a little sense of pleasure. Now, that's a little dopamine hit in itself. Also brings along these other really good, more lasting neurochemicals that I talked about. My last bit of advice might feel counterintuitive, might feel a little rebellious. I want you to plan for an impulse spend. I want you to set aside, either in your mind or literally like an envelope, a certain sum of money each week that you are going to treat yourself with. I want you to plan for it. I want you to savor it. If it's the fresh baked croissant down the street on a Friday morning, if it's planned to buy those pair of earrings you've been eyeing, when we plan for it and we savor it, then you're not going to experience the guilt because you're actually going to have that satisfaction. I hunted for that thing and I got it. When you can learn to rely on yourself a little bit and still enjoy the moment, you're going to find the out of control impulse spending start to go down. This is a long process. I've given you a handful of tips here for you to bring into your everyday. Don't expect one and done life hack your way out of this. This is a long process because impulse spending has a high reward experience and it can lead to a real addictive relationship with it. So it could take some time. It might take listening to this podcast several times to keep reminding yourself, and that's okay. This is not a pass-fail thing, but if you're in a place where you're seeing the real practical effects of impulse spending on your finances, it is worth it to re-listen to this, get in touch with true self-care, and maybe with the new motivation of, oh, self-care may equal more financial stability. One of the things that may be adding to your sense of feeling out of control is that you're doing this alone. You look around and it seems that other people have got this sorted out. First off, it's probably not true. I think everyone feels a little bit like they're faking it when it comes to money. So that's number one. If someone seems like they've got it worked out, you don't know for sure what's going on in their financial picture. And secondly, there is a crew of people unpacking this impulse spending thing, money avoidance, debt cycle, big things about what's the future of the world, and the often helpless feeling that we have in an economy that is not really built for our wellness. So that is the Money Healing Club, with courses, live events, an active forum to neutralize the big emotions you might have with money within a really wonderful, vibrant community. And I'll end with this. It is okay to live in the moment and be a little spontaneous and love beauty and self-improvement. Those are all beautiful qualities you have. And there's a way you can live in that space while also trusting yourself with money. It's a messy road that is different for everyone, but I'm on this journey with you. Thank you for sharing, and I'll see you in the next episode.